This tutorial is for first grade, Module 2, Lesson 14. In Lesson 14, we're going to use Rec and Rec pictures to help us subtract 9. This is a picture of a Rec and Rec. It is a math tool that groups beads in rows of 10. So I have 10 beads on the top and 10 beads on the bottom. It is separated into red and white beads. The idea is we want the students to be able to look quickly at the picture or at the rack itself and see how many beads have been pushed over to the left. So here you can see I have a group of 5 and a group of 3, and that tells me I have a group of 8 altogether. Another way I can tell that I have 8 beads is to look to see how many beads have not been pushed over. Here I have a group of 2. So on this top row I have 8 beads on the left and 2 on the right, and that makes 10 altogether. So we're going to use the Rec and Rec idea, or pictures of the Rec and Rec, to help us subtract 9 in this lesson. The first problem says take 9 from the top row of the Rec and Rec to subtract, and the problem is 11 minus 9. If you look on the left side of the Rec and Rec, I have 10 on the top row and 1 on the bottom row to show 11. If we had real Rec and Recs in front of us, we would take 9 of the beads and slide them back over to the right. So I would take this group of beads and move it over to the right. My answer is what's left over on the left-hand side of the Rec and Rec. So I have 2 beads left. That tells me that 11 minus 9 is 2. And that follows the previous pattern of when I'm subtracting 9, I'm going to end up with 1 more than what was in my ones column in my original number. So 11 minus 9 is 2, and you can see those 2 beads on the left-hand side of the rack. The next question is 14 minus 9. I have my 14 beads on the left-hand side of the Rec and Rec. There's 10 on the top row and 4 on the bottom row. And again, I'm going to picture these 9 beads being pushed back to the right. So this group of 9 would be pushed all the way back to the right-hand side of the Rec and Rec. My answer is the 4 that were on the bottom row plus the 1 on the top row, or 5. 14 minus 9 is 5. The next question is 16 minus 9. I have the 16 beads on the left-hand side. We have 10 on the top row, 6 on the bottom row. Now the pattern has been that when we subtract 9, we get an answer that is 1 more than what was in my ones place in the original number. So my answer should be 7, because that is 1 more than 6. So let's see what that looks like on the Rec and Rec. I'm going to take away 9 beads. That would be those 9 beads. And what I have left is the 1 bead left over on the top row and the 6 original beads on the bottom row, and that is 7. So that pattern is shown on the Rec and Rec as well. It's 1 more bead than what was on the original ones column in my number. The last question says to draw the beads on the Rec and Rec and then subtract 9 from the top to solve. The problem is 12 minus 9. I'll start by showing the 12 beads on the left-hand side of the Rec and Rec, again showing 10 on the top row and then 2 on the bottom row to make 12. So here's my 10 on the top row. And I'm not going to be concerned about the color of the beads here. And then 2 on the bottom row. Now I have my 12 beads. I'm going to subtract 9. My answer should be 1 more than the number in my ones column. So my answer should be 3. So if I cross off those 9 beads in the top row, what I have left would be 3. 1 bead left over in the top row, and then the 2 beads that were in the bottom row. So my answer is indeed 3. So you can see how that pattern of subtracting 9 is shown quite easily on the Rec and Rec tool.